the Thursday, August 22nd, 2004 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Do we have any? No. And we do have 3 here right now. We're going to go a little bit farther down.
Okay, hold on, we're on the wrong meeting.
We're on the wrong meeting.
Oh, can we
No,
go
that's
on?
not me. Mr. Levine.
Mr. Levine.
That was the Personnel Commission.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Stay there.
Okay.
There we go.
Closed session, public
We're
comment.
getting
Any public comments?
No.
No. Okay, we're going to adjourn to closed session. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Good evening, welcome back. Well, we are back. And we are going to reconvene the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Thursday, October 22nd, 2024. And moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Would someone like to do the Pledge of Allegiance first? Thank you. Mark?
Place the right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark. Moving on to roll call, everyone is here this evening. And report out of closed session.
All right, in closed session, in the matter of existing litigation, special education settlement case number OAH 2024040004, the board voted to approve the special education settlement agreement by a vote of 5-0. Also in the matter of existing litigation, special education settlement case number 2024-25-01, the board voted to approve the special education settlement agreement by a vote of 5-0. In closed session, the board took action to approve the recommendation for appointment of Carly Chianisi as Behavior Intervention Coordinator beginning August 26, 2024, by a vote of 5-0. I understand Ms. Chianisi is in the audience if you would like to say something or not. Thank you.
My notes so that I can get everyone's names right. Thank you, President Houston, the Board of Education, Dr. Ibarra, and the Cabinet. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I have been working closely with this district for the last 5 years. I am so thrilled for this position and to be the one seated in it, and I can't wait to get to work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, in closed session, the board considered the termination of a certificated employee who failed to return from unpaid leave and ratified the release of employee number 192225, effective July 1, 2024, by a vote of 5-0. And that is it out of closed session.
Thank you, Doug. Moving on to the approval of the agenda.
I'll move.
Second.
Thank you. And it passes 5-0. Moving on to the approval of minutes for July 18th, 2024.
Move approval of the minutes of July 18, 2024.
Second.
Thank you. And the resolution passes 5-0. Moving on to the minutes of July 25th, 2024.
I feel like we're getting faster at this.
I move approval.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. And the motion passes 5-0. Moving on to communications, public comments. We have one public speaker this evening, and it is Mickey, I want to say Montanero? Montiero. Thank you, sir.
Basically, it's about developer fees. And the square footage price, I think, how somebody came up with that formula makes 0 sense. In the beginning, this is my 51st year in building, just so you know. You had a flat fee, and that's where it should have stayed. Does anybody get that by the time you can afford these massive homes, you don't have kids that go to school? They're in universities that you're paying a fortune for. So I don't understand how the square foot price came about. Does anybody have an answer for that? Or a dispute of that you might see that that's incorrect?
We'll have somebody contact you from the facilities department to explain how the calculation was come up.
No, I actually got it in a letter.
Okay.
But I'm here to let you know it's unfair to begin with. You don't penalize people because they have a large home. You make it fair across the board. There's houses being built down here that 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 square feet. They have 8 and 10 kids going to school. Why should I pay to send their kids to school? And that's what I'm doing. I give this district hundreds of thousands of dollars in school fees. And I'm tired of it. And that's why there's class action lawsuits across the board for me. Okay?
Thank you, sir. And moving into public hearings, we have none. And moving into reports, EEA, I'm sorry, CSEA, we have no one here. So EEA, thank you.
No eye contact.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me, Zesty. Don't. Our children left us today to go to San Diego State University, so congratulations, Zesty. To my boy Jack watching, I love you, kid. Proud of you. Good evening, President Houston, board members, Dr. Barr, and cabinet. Welcome back to another school year. We are really looking forward to a true collaboration between USD and EEA. More gets accomplished together. We have a lot of new exciting things happening, and as always, certificated staff have stepped up. I would love to give a shout out to Maintenance Operations Supervisor Brian Morris, who was brave enough to spend an entire day entertaining my ADHD self. I have never seen someone juggle so many things at once and do it with kindness, grace, and efficiency. He had me chat with all classified staff, including nutrition, maintenance, custodial, painters, electricians, and every part of maintenance. Our classified staff work incredibly hard to keep our schools functioning with the highest standards. It was easily 95 degrees that day, and our classified staff didn't miss a beat. Brian not only gets in there and works with his staff, but he takes great care of them by making sure they have plenty of water to get through their hot days. So thank you, Brian, for giving me such an amazing experience. And I'm hanging out with him again next week. I'm pretty excited. EEA looks forward to negotiations resuming on September 4th, Audrey. And we look forward to having a new contract soon. Thank you, and let's all have a wonderful year. And Zesty, no tears.
Thank you, Brandy. And moving on to written communications, all have been distributed to all the board members. And going to consent items. Is there anything that anyone would like to pull or would like to have discussion about?
President Houston, staff would like to pull pull H1 for comment.
Okay.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay, I am calling, asking for a moment.
Microphone?
Oh, sorry. I'm asking for a moment of silence for Mary Burnett. Mary passed away at the beginning of this month, and she was a longstanding EUSD employee. She worked for me for 6 years. She was the most girly of girlies and loved teaching more than anything I could see. Her zest for her students, her love of teaching them how to read was more than I could say in that grade level. And I miss her, and I loved her, and I just wanted to give a moment for her.
Picture of the
If we can give her a moment of silence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Audrey. Do we have any other items that would like to be pulled or discussed? I need a motion.
Move approval of the consent agenda as provided.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second. And it does pass 5-0. Moving on to L, presentations and reports. Ed Services.
Yes.
Summer School and ELA.
We are excited to be able to share information tonight regarding our expanded learning program. So I'll be inviting up Rick Oser, our Director of Intervention, Enrichment, and Extended Learning.
Good evening, Board President Houston, board members, Superintendent Dr. Ibarra, and cabinet members. Thank you for the opportunity to present EUSD's Expanded Learning Summer Program and 23-24 Impact Report. And thank you for the opportunity to serve in this role. This evening's presentation will focus on the impact that ELOP, Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, which we constantly refer to as ELOP, and the summer programs have had on our students, families, and community. This impact is a direct result of your vision and the district's framework for the future. We are grateful for the constant guidance and direction from Dr. Ibarra and Dr. Filia, and the incredible collaboration and team effort from every department and staff who make this happen. We've provided you this new, right off the publications machine, impact report. And today's presentation will be based on this report. So what does ELOP do? As we know, the state allocates ELOP funding to provide high-quality enrichment activities that advance students' academic, social, emotional, and physical development. This additional funding comes with several requirements, including a minimum of 9-hour days, even during our summer and intersession programs, and 30 additional days of programming beyond the 180 school day calendar. We have designed this impact report highlighting the 3 main areas of ELOP: before and after school programming, after school enrichment and intervention classes, and our intersession and summer programming, which we just wrapped up a few weeks ago. This evening's presentation will be organized around this impact report. So let's start with one of the main components of before and after school programs, our before and after school programs. Last year, EUSD contracted with 4 agencies. This year, we're contracting with 3 agencies. In all, these programs served 4,458 participants over the course of the year. This year, the 3 programs that we're contracting with are YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, and City of Escondido. The goal last year, which continues to be a goal this year, is to maximize the potential of our programs. Our expectation is that our providers are going beyond typical student care programs and engaging our students in academically, socially, emotionally, and physically enriching activities. In addition, our programs are inclusive as we coordinate with our wonderful special education department led by Director Newton to provide support for students with disabilities. We are pleased to share that this year we are already off to an amazing start and already have just under 4,000 students enrolled in our before and after school programs. The next key part and the next section on our impact report is our after-school enrichment and intervention classes. Obviously, this part gets a lot of attention because teachers are able to be so creative and bring their passions to the campus and engage our students in those programs. So these classes taught by EUSD certificated staff and some contracted vendors had a total of 1,086 distinct after-school enrichment and intervention classes last year. And collectively, these classes engaged over 12,000 participants. The diversity of these classes was extensive, including some of our what have now become our flagship programs, such as esports, Flag Rugby League, Girls on the Run, and First Lego League, as well as countless other student-centered classes like sports, cooking, English language development, dance, academic intervention, art, STEM, and the list goes on and on. Included on the report are a couple quotes from families highlighting the increased feeling of school connectedness, one of the primary goals of ELOP, and their gratitude for the unique experiences provided to students. So we don't take too much time. I won't read those quotes. You can read them at your leisure. We have identified specific metrics to evaluate the impact of our after-school classes. It's a real goal it's an important goal of the board as well as our department to make sure that these programs are having a direct impact on our students. One of the metrics we have identified is the impact that participating in an after-school class has on students' regular school day attendance. And you can see up here from this table that there definitely is a connection between students who participate in after-school ELOP classes compared to students who don't. We do have a little cautionary note here because we cannot connect causation to this table, so we can't say that because of participating in ELOP classes, students have better attendance. There are many other variables, but we do see at least a correlation. District-wide, the difference is 2.5% for the entire district, whereas the middle school is 2.3%, and elementary is a 2.6% greater ADA. Furthermore, when comparing our unduplicated pupils, students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, English learners, foster youth, and homeless youth, we actually see that this increase or this comparison is even greater. This chart compares our UPP students who participate in after-school programs to UPP students who do not participate in after-school programs. Our analysis, and once again, it's with a little asterisk because we cannot connect it to causation, it highlights the impact that after-school classes have on students' desires to attend school during the regular day with a positive 2.9% difference. So we're going to continue to monitor this. This is one of our metrics, and one of your goals is to see that, that this continues to have an impact. The third part of EUSD's expanded learning program is our intersession and summer programs. So this is the third section, the bottom section of our impact report. We had over 1,000 students attend our spring break program, which included sixth grade camp, our Camp Cuyamaca program, CCAE Theatricals Camp, which has been a really big hit every time we've done it, the Boys and Girls Day Camp with San Diego Legion, the local rugby team, as well as the YMCA Day Camp. In addition, there were over 2,000 students who participated in our summer programs. We'll detail our summer programs in just a few moments, but before we do so, I wanted to mention that in our spring break and summer numbers are 337 students who participated in overnight camps, including our Camp Cuyamaca program, our YMCA Surf Camp program, which we just facilitated, and our Sea Camp program. Once again, we survey students and families after all of our programs, and the feedback is overwhelmingly positive, as demonstrated on this slide. And you can see those figures up there, 97% satisfaction rate. So really pleased to see that. There is a comment here from one of the parents. All of the surveys that we do have an open-ended section where families can just express their comments, and overwhelmingly the comments are just so positive. This one really captured how their student not only thrived in the program, but also gained a special enthusiasm for STEM, and the experience left a profound impact. And one of the comments that we constantly see is our parents' sentiment that these no-cost programs is just so invaluable and such a great community service. And so we're really pleased to see that. Many times when we're reading these comments, you could just feel the parents' satisfaction and gratitude and heartfelt emotions. As promised, we're going to jump into the 7 weeks of summer learning and fun. And under the direction of Dr. Filia's leadership, the summer program has grown extensively over the past couple years. And this year included a whopping 7 years of amazing program. I want to reiterate that the 7 weeks of programming, as well as all of these initiatives, all of these programs, require extensive collaboration from pretty much every EUSD department. Many of the directors who are in the boardroom, our nutrition services, our purchasing, transportation, publications, human resources, classified as well as certificated, facilities, technology, maintenance and custodial, fiscal service, all aspects of ed services, including special education department, curriculum and accountability, ISS, and extended learning. Just the amount of collaboration is just incredible. And it really showcases the limited potential of our district as we work together to create these opportunities for our students. And we're also very, very grateful for this, for that collaboration and partnership. So this chart just highlights the amount of staff that are involved in the 4-week program. And remember, this is just one of the many, many programs. And you can see from summer principals, classroom teachers, classified staff, specialties staff, office staff, nurses, even our night crew. Everyone is impacted by this program and everyone contributes to it. And so we're just really grateful for that as well. The effort and commitment is truly priceless, and the reality is without them, there's no program, just ideas. So I'm very fortunate to have them be a part of it. On to our 4-week, 9-hour summer day program. So this is kind of the heart of the summer program. It's our big 4-week program, and really quite involved with many different components. The morning block is taught by our EUSD teachers, so we contract or we hire them to teach the first part of the day. And there are about 1,200 students who are in our summer program. This slide showcases 2 parts of the elementary academic enrichment program. There's 3 parts. The third part is math, and we'll get to that part on the next slide. And the program involves the National Inventors Hall of Fame STEM curriculum. This is, we've been using this curriculum for several years, and it really engages our students, well received by our students and staff. And then also something that we incorporated last year is a choice-based enrichment class featuring robotics, sports, art, or music. And so this is one of the hooks for our students to really get excited about coming to the summer program, and then they can benefit from all of the other aspects as well. And here are some photos highlighting our learners. So you can see we have lots of photos. We really had to select through them because there are so many photos. But here are some photos highlighting our learners, and it's clear through these images that our students are actualizing EUSD's learner profile. So in the far left corner, you could see a student engaged with the National Inventors Hall of Fame STEM curriculum. And through this, the student is becoming a critical thinker as well as a creative problem solver. And then all of the student choice activities allow our students to become more empowered learners as they start to identify like what their interests and their passions are, and then they participate in these programs. Very similar model to our after-school program where students have these choices. The results are happier students, increased participation in learning, and positive feedback, once again, from staff, students, and families. So as I mentioned before, the third part of the morning block focuses on math. And so every day during the summer program, elementary students engaged in 1 hour of math instruction. This year, we utilized the end of the year iReady assessments, iReady assessment data to identify students who needed Tier 3 math intervention. We also hired 16 math intervention teachers who are trained in the Bridges intervention curriculum. And these teachers provided intensive intervention for students who needed this level of instruction. Meanwhile, the classroom teachers taught the Math for Love curriculum to students who were at or near grade level in math. So that ability to differentiate instruction, meet the needs of the students, provide that instruction right at their zone of proximal development was critical. These photos showcase both groups of students engaged in focused, purposeful instruction. And once again, the feedback from the students, staff, and families was overwhelmingly positive, telling us that we're heading in the right direction. So, as always, we're trying to quantify the impact that our programs are having on student achievement as well as students' feelings about school. There were 139 students across all 4 elementary sites who received math intervention for 1 hour each day. And we utilized the Bridges curriculum. We've been utilizing that for our after-school program, and last year we used it during our math intervention classes. And the key aspect of this program is that it focuses on numbers and operations, which we know is the foundation of a student's math skills. Such a critical aspect. If they don't have that numbers and operations solid, then some of the higher level learning is really difficult to develop. This slide represents the number of students at each grade level who participated in the intervention and the number and percent of students who made progress. So you can see here exactly those figures. What's also important is that many students made really significant gains. And this is during the summer program. There were actually a total of 17 days that the math intervention teachers focused on. And so what we saw was that 49 students improved their iReady numbers and operations score by more than 20 points. And of those 49 students, 22 of them grew more than 40 points. So this is a real significant impact in a short amount of time. So we're really kind of giving a heavy dose here during the summer program. These type of gains dramatically impact the student's stretch growth, their iReady stretch growth, and could potentially even move a student up a performance band on iReady. And that all depends on where the student currently is and what their stretch growth would need to be to get up to grade level proficiency. Some of the top gainers, we had a student who actually, the highest gainer was a student who grew 69 points during 17-day period. Another student who grew 61 points. So lots of great growth there. So we also had a robust middle school academic enrichment program with 214 middle schoolers participating in highly engaging learning experiences. And once again, we broke down that morning block that was instructed by EUSD teachers into 3 parts. And the classes that the students were able to engage in were real-world math with the Junior Achievement Finance Park curriculum, entrepreneurship with BizWorld's project-based learning unit, and career explorations with ZSpace, our virtual reality computer software program that we've now had for a couple of years. The program, the middle school program, ended in culminating events, including a field trip to Finance Park in Mission Bay? No, Mission Valley. There you go. In Mission Valley, and during that field trip, students are actually creating their own personal budget. They're learning about taxes. They're learning about interest, all the things that we as adults know a lot about, but they're actually learning it at this early level. And also the middle schoolers had a school-wide student-run market fair where students sold their products that they developed over the course of the 4-week program, from the newly developed businesses using BizBucks. So not real money, it was fake money. No money exchanged hands, at least that we're aware of. But it was actually great to see the students not only creating their product, but marketing it, and then having to pitch it and sell it to their peers. So I'm giving them that full entrepreneurship. As mentioned previously, our summer academic enrichment program included a nine-hour day. After students participated in the morning program with our EUSD teachers and staff, they finished the day with either the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club. In addition to the agency's programming, vendors were brought in to provide additional activities for our students. And part of that was that all elementary students participated in a weekly field trip. So over the course of the 4 weeks, they actually had 4 different field trips. And you can see on this slide some of the photos of the students engaged in those field trips, from ice skating to movie theater, Sky Zone, Dave & Buster's, or Chuck E. Cheese. So this is, once again, our students having these experiences that maybe their families aren't able to provide due to limited resources. Families really express great gratitude for that as well. And as I mentioned before, we have an incredible special education department led by a wonderful director of special education, Patrick Newton. And his department, yeah, we could give him a woohoo. His department also operated EUSD's Special Education Extended School Year Summer Program. And the ESY is a federally mandated program which is required to serve students who experience regression in skills over long summer breaks or long school breaks. Students from our moderate severe, SCSB, Cs, deaf and hard of hearing, and mild moderate separate classes attended the ESY. And in total, there were 153 students who participated in ESY at Rock Springs Elementary School over the 19 days of instruction. And in addition, students who participated in the ESY were able to be transported over by our wonderful transportation department. I think Kara's back there, who facilitates or directs that, and participate in the 9-hour program. So we actually coordinated for additional staff to be provided so that those students could participate in the 9-hour day program, let their families also do what they needed to do, and those students participated in the field trips and all of the activities as well. So it was great collaborating with the special education department to make that happen. And another program that took place this summer was our GATE Summer Fieldwork. And in this program, 25 3rd through 5th grade GATE students participated in the 1-week program facilitated by our partner, Nature Collective, and one of our Escondido teachers. These students engaged in fieldwork experiences at San Elijo Lagoon and Nature Center, Rios Trail, and Annie's Canyon Trail, San Diego Botanic Gardens, and Living Coast Discovery Center. This is yet another example of EUSD actualizing the framework for the future by providing our students with these authentic learning experiences. And as I mentioned before, we had 7 weeks, so that was 4 weeks with the main program, and then we had an additional 3 weeks of summer opportunities. Right after school ended, actually it was the week after school ended, our students began their summer learning with 2 weeks of additional programs. During those 2 weeks, 200 elementary students engaged in theater camps at Rady Creek with CCAE Theatricals. And in addition, 163 middle schoolers participated in a 2-week day camp facilitated by Boys and Girls Club with San Diego Legion for 1 week and Positive Adventures for the second week. So opportunity where our students are not just at campus with that student care type program, but they're actually engaging in these really enriching experiences. We capped our 7-week program with another week of day camps with 318 elementary students participating in the YMCA day camp, which was held at Orange Glen, 45 middle schoolers participating in yet another week of Boys and Girls Club and Positive Adventures camp. And last but not least, the summer ended with a splash as 45 students spent a week at the beach with the YMCA's Camp Surf. This is a 6-day overnight camp experience, giving students a memory that will last a lifetime. We are pleased with the impact that ELOP has had. We also hope that all of you are pleased with the impact that ELOP has had over the past couple of years, and we have some goals for the upcoming year as we continue to grow and build the program. Our commitment for this year is to continue to grow the program, but with intentionality. So we have the structure in place, we have systems in place to coordinate all of the ins and outs of the program. We want to be very intentional of taking it to the next level. And we want to increase the number of after-school intervention classes with a focus on Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention, which also will include 30 minutes of intervention as well as 30 minutes of enrichment. We know that just having the intervention classes after school will bring some students in, but will not bring maybe some of the students who need it the most. So by connecting the enrichment and the intervention, we know that we'll be able to get them in the door, we'll be able to get them connected to school a little bit more, and then we'll also be able to provide an additional dose of Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention. Also, we're providing smaller class sizes in these classes so that we can allow for more personalized learning. And a key piece is to continue to progress monitor on a regular basis so that we can actually see the impact that the program is having and then make some instructional adjustments throughout. We also plan to continue to strengthen the systems and structures to increase ELOP's efficiency and effectiveness. We've learned a lot over the past couple of years, and a big part of that was a collaboration with all of the different departments. And we continue to want to collect additional data to evaluate and refine the program through increased progress monitoring. So something that we continue to look at is identify those metrics and then gather that data so that we can make adjustments. And then we want to continue to expand the camp experiences. And part of this is we have the camps in place that we know students like and enjoy. We want to bring in more students for those camp experiences. And so a lot of that will be collaborating with our middle schools to make that happen. And with that said, I want to personally thank the hardworking Creative Expanded Learning team. Shannon Freilish is our coordinator. Joanne Fox is our Project Specialist 3, as well as our administrative team, and all of the district's departments for helping actualize the unlimited potential of our students. I'm available for any questions that you might have.
Do we have any questions?
Thank you. That was a great presentation. I was super excited to see how many students we have been serving in the after-school enrichment classes, and I like the approach of getting more tier 2 and tier 3 intervention to those students. Do we have an idea of like the scope of that, or is it still in the planning stages?
Actually, teachers right now are filling out their interest surveys, expressing their interest to teach in the after-school program during the fall session. The fall session starts in just a few weeks. It starts on the week of September 16th. So what's happening right now is teachers are expressing their interest, and then once they fill out the interest survey, identify what the focus is going to be, as well as how they're going to progress monitor, how they're going to provide that enrichment and intervention. Then the principal, as well as the ELOP site liaison, will review the results of the surveys and then give guidance and really identify like the which of those classes are in alignment with the school's goals. So all of that started actually pretty much on the first day that teachers returned. We met with our ELOP site liaisons on August 13th to get a running start. So,
And that was my next question with the site liaisons. Is there an opportunity for them to take more of a role where they're looking at the students that are in there and trying to target them, kind of like what the SBRT position kind of did, so we can really dig into and supporting and make sure they're placed right, make sure they're monitored?
yes.
Or is that falling back on the classroom teacher?
That's a significant goal of the district, is that these classes are becoming more and more intentional, more and more focused on the needs of the students. And we also know that our community schools, MTSS site specialists, are also able to collaborate with the ELOP site liaison and the principal, as well as the social worker and the counselors, to really identify like which students really need these classes and how they can actually target these students, invite these students first to the program. And that's not just for academic intervention, it's also for school connectedness. So our social workers, our counselors, they really know the students who could benefit from these programs. And so by bringing them into part of the conversation, then we know that we can target the right students, especially programs like esports and Girls on the Run and classes that really bring in students. We know that maybe the students who are less connected to school, if we can prioritize them, maybe students with attendance issues, then that would be another hook to bring them in. So.
Yeah, especially for those school sites that don't have the community schools. I mean, I think that's a great opportunity for us to fill in kind of that gap that they're missing, is that coordinator of, you know, all the supports possible. So in talking of that, how's the budget looking? I know we had a surplus last year. What's that situation?
Well, fortunately, our state continues to fund ELOP to what they've promised. And our budget is maxed out right at our anticipated budget. Our line item budget is right at our dollar amount. And so we have just about, collaborating with Ms. Director Cagle, we have just about every dollar allocated. And then it is a anticipated budget, so there will be things that come up, and maybe some schools that don't utilize the monies as much as they anticipated. So we'll keep an eye on the budget. We really want to get the most out of this money because we just know the potential that's there.
And I had one last question on the before and after programs. Is there a way to build capacity on those, or are they pretty much set because due to budget and size? Because I know, like on a lot of the mom groups I'm on Facebook, like they're very concerned that they're already on the wait list because it's already full. So is there other opportunities to expand those?
Yeah, certainly that's a constant concern of ours. What we've done since last year to this year, first of all, we're using the RFP process. So I'm collaborating with our purchasing department and fiscal services, identifying, going through the RFP process. We increased the amount of students that we wanted to be served at all of our schools, and the reality is that even with that increase, more students, more families are requesting the service, and so we do have wait lists. we constantly collaborate with the providers and talk about students who maybe are in the program, not utilizing the program to the full extent, and then identifying families that maybe really desperately need the program. So it's an ongoing conversation and something that we definitely keep an eye on. But to kind of put it in an example, last year, Bernardo is our largest school, was around 220 students being served, and right now they're at 262, and that's just in the after-school program. So we increased, but even with the increase, there's still families that are on the wait list. So we're working really hard to address the wait list, and then if need be, we'll try to find creative ways to address that, because it's for many families it's a necessity. And
Right, absolutely.
and we want to support them as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, more of a comment than a question. I very much appreciate the idea of bringing more Tier 1 or Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports into the program. At the same time, I want to commend our entire district for making sure that these programs are really used for the enrichment that they're intended for. And, yes, we need to mix in some academics, absolutely. But I really appreciate the fact that we are making sure to give our kids experiences that they would never have access to otherwise. I think that is so valuable and so recognizes that our students are more than what they might be doing in the regular classroom every day. I just think that's vital. And as you say, getting that connection through other activities that the students are more successful in or become successful in, that they're very interested in, those enrichment things are going to bring them to school more often, keep them more engaged, and that will automatically increase their academic achievement. I know many districts around the state are struggling to use their ELOP money, or have just given up, or are just using it for standard tutoring. And I am just so honored proud to be a part of this district that has seen the potential and has done, as I understand it, a program that is being held up around the state as being the ideal situation. So thank you all.
You're welcome.
Good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to N1 Business Services Facility Use Agreement with YMCA of San Diego County.
This agreement would give us access to the Appleby Child Care Center, which is the YMCA campus right across the street from our Lincoln Elementary School. That can then be utilized. It has 4 classroom spaces, some office space. It can be utilized to support our after-school program that we just heard so much about from Mr. Oser. And so we would be entering into, upon passage, a 2-year agreement for use of that facility, again, for the after-school program and all the great things that they can do there.
Move approval.
Thank you. Need a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And the motion passes 5-0. Moving on to N2.
Okay, so pursuant to SB 553, all employers in California with over 10 employees are required to create a workplace violence prevention plan. This is our plan that was sent to you previously, and we are seeking approval of the plan. The slides before you, this is what was in the mandated training for all employees, so every employee was given training and understanding of what the plan was.
Do we have any questions? I do need a motion.
Move approval of the Escondido Union School District's Workplace Violence Prevention Plan.
I'll second.
Thank you. And the motion carries 5-0. Moving on to O1.
Okay, the first set is coming from my office. It's, we have 3 new revised board bylaws. Policy, bylaw 1160, it's a political process, allows us, if the board wants, whenever we're putting a measure on a ballot, that whether board members want to individually endorse it or show support for that. Board bylaw 9124 is really clarifying that any attorneys the district use must possess a license in California to practice law. And board bylaw 9321 is clarification, expanded new guidance under the Brown Act for closed session items. And then you have the corresponding exhibits there for your reference and adoption.
Do we have any questions? This is an action item. If we want to,
Make a motion to approve.
thank you,
I'll second.
thank you. And the motion carries 5-0. Moving on to O2.
This board policy up for first reading tonight is to create a board policy around use of e-signatures, so electronic signatures that you would see. We're using more and more, and we felt it important that CSB also made some recommendations, but this policy, we've added some additional items to align with our network protocols and some of the things like the two-factor authentication that we would use to confirm that the person that is interacting with that electronic signature is in fact who they say they are and is an approved signer within our district. And so this board policy would then create the rules that we would follow to use those electronic signatures.
Thank you.
I move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And the motion carries 5-0.
God bless.
Bless you. Thank you. And moving down to P1, board members and board president reports. Mark?
Thank you. Boy, that crept up. Efficient meeting, President. Thank you. Nothing really to report, just, want to welcome all the teachers and staff back. It was great. I got stuck in traffic, so I actually didn't make it onto the campus on Tuesday morning, but it was good to see from afar the administrators, principals, teachers welcoming the staff back. I want to also thank the district and all the staff that came to the picnic. It was great to be with them last week and enjoy a nice day in the park, and hopefully the staff enjoyed it. So it's good to be back. It's good to have the school year underway. I'm sure the children might feel otherwise. But the structure is good, and
I'm happy about it.
I imagine you are. So just but also want to thank all those that worked tirelessly the entire summer to prepare the campuses, both from the classroom standpoint, offices, but also the capital projects that I know take a lot of time, a lot of planning, firsthand experience, there's always delays and changes, and to get those things completed so that the students can return to campus and be excited to see new shiny things. So thank you to everyone. I'm looking forward to a wonderful school year.
Thank you.
I had a question, again, on some of my mom's groups. A lot of them were very concerned with the dates that are released of like when the school lists are gonna come out, when the teacher list is coming out, or when they had to turn things in by. And, you know, obviously, and I'm guilty of this, I don't check the website and I don't, you know, read everything I get as a mom. But I think I think there just needs to be a greater effort made in a very standardized, this is the day this is the day you need to register by, this is the date the teacher classes, assignments come out, that you don't need to bring any supply. I mean, I know Doug commented on a couple too, that like you don't need to bring any, we don't require our students to bring any supplies. I just know there's all, you know, every year that's going to happen, but if we could be very clear in our, you know, instructions and our announcements and stick to it. Same with like school of choice. Everyone's like, I don't know when, you know, when does that come out? What's the date of that? And all these dates go around. And did you get anything? No, I didn't get anything. You know, that type of stuff. I attended 3 of the custodian lunches. I went to Matt, Mark's, and Monica's crew lunches, which was, I think it was very great that we took the time to thank them for the amazing work they did over the summer. And again, moving all those classrooms and cleaning them, it is a tough job. But what I also noticed, and I think I mentioned this last time, but was their camaraderie with each other, and those crews become a family to each other, and they really help each other out, and they care about each other, and it was great to see. I would like to suggest, if I have board support, that we, on October 2nd is Custodian Appreciation Day, and if we can do something as a district to thank them, even you know, if the students can leave them notes or leave notes on the whiteboards or write them little cards, I know they appreciate it because they have such care for the schools and the teachers and the students, and they do it for the students, and you can really tell that they try their best to make it a nice place for the students. And then I also appreciated the security update in the welcome back email. I think that's very good to let the parents know what improvements we've made, how it's a focus of ours, and why it's so important, and to see the changes that we've put out there, especially the buzzers at every campus. I was happy to see that. And then I also attended the barbecue, which was great, and Nutrition Services did a great job getting that much food out, and everyone loved it and it was delicious, and it was great to see everyone.
And Ms. Harper, I agree with you on the idea of recognizing the custodians, and yes, everybody loves the custodians. I'm saying a card and carne asada. I think that would be my comment.
I'm behind that too. I second that.
I knew you would be. Also, very much enjoyed the welcome back picnic. Very good event. A lot of excitement in my circles around our P3 people starting work. Some of the young people who have just graduated went in to their first day with great trepidation of, how am I going to do this? Wait, how do I dress? That was a big question. But interestingly, after the first day, their response was, it was incredible. It was the best day ever, things like that. So just very excited for that P3 program. I understand it's not specifically for kids coming out of high school going, to go to work. But I'll tell you, that's a lot of who we've recruited through there, and who we're recruiting there are future teachers. Mm-hmm. That's because, and students who would not normally and without that program have ever even considered themselves for a teaching career. So just really cool. I would also like to echo the thanks to the teachers, classified staff, and administration. The first week of school is always difficult, and the classified staff has worked really hard to make it easier. The teachers are obviously doing an exceptional job. I was getting back to the ELOP programs. I was able to visit summer program at Bear Valley Middle School, absolutely outstanding. A lot of students who, in Escondido, we do not have a lot of opportunity for activities. We don't have a lot of stuff anymore, especially if you don't have money and transportation to go find it. And the school district has become the primary Parks and Recreation Department in this city. We really have become. I also was able to visit YMCA Camp Surf and see that program in progress, and just absolutely outstanding. Again, an experience that our kids would not be able to have simply because of the cost and the logistics to get that happening. And those opportunities that we're offering are just incredibly valuable. I attended last night a vigil for Angel Ornelas Ponce, young man who was struck and killed in front of Farr Elementary School about a week ago. I got to know him briefly when he was a student at Orange Glen High School over the summer, and just a bright and shining star who did not excel, as many people made clear yesterday, who did not excel in the classroom, but he excelled elsewhere. He had a bright personality, a friendly personality, and a young man who had a great experience in our summer program and had become a member of the Escondido High School football team. And the love that was seen last night just bore out that kids are not defined by how they're doing in the classroom. There is a lot more to life than what happens in the classroom. And to everybody involved in ELOP and every other aspect of our school, thank you for recognizing our kids for the whole person that they are and that they can become. And also, I just want to call out Rincon Middle School staff. Principal was at the vigil. Many, many teachers and staff members were among the crowd of 400 to 500 people who shut down Fig Street right in front of my house to remember this young man. And thank you to all the social workers, counselors, teachers, and everybody else who are dealing with several fatalities of young people in our city recently. So thank you all.
That was very sad. I also was able to attend the last recognition of our cleaning crews. It was night crew, Monica's crew, along with a number of custodians who also pitched in, so they were a little bit expanded. But I'm so glad I did, because I don't think, because the night crew isn't really seen. We only see the results, the clean classrooms, and I think it could probably go through with a white glove after Monica's crew got done, because they're very attentive to detail and very intent on making sure that the children are provided with the safest, cleanest environment. So again, I wanted to thank them, all of our custodial staff that work so hard to maintain clean and safe premises for our children. That's really an important part of their day. And also the picnic the Welcome Back picnic, I wanted to thank the cabinet for manning the grills, so I didn't have to. It's a hot, dirty job, but it was appreciated. So thank you again for that, and welcome back, everyone, to a new school year. And I hope that we'll improve upon what we built last year with ELOP and also learning, giving our kids a future. And that's my report.
Thank you, Joan. And I just wanted to echo off of pretty much the whole board. Welcome back. Thank you all for all the hard work this summer to get us ready. Excited to see how this year continues to grow and get better. I know that we have put a lot of expectations on all the staff and Dr. Ibarra on what our expectations are. So we're hoping that at the end of this year, we will see some really good improvements, and I think we will. I mean, it appears from all of our discussions that we've had that the dedication here is above par. And everybody here, their desires for our children to learn. And that is something that is very important, and I think will give us some really good dividends at the end of the year. So I'm really looking forward to see how this year continues. And I want to thank you all for the hard work that you did this summer, and also teachers, staff, certified, everybody. I mean, this couldn't have happened without everyone's help. So thank you for all your hard work this summer, and we're looking forward to a great year. Dr. Barr.
Full of appreciation and love for all of our staff, like the over 200 staff that work our summer programs. Just a huge thank you and gratitude. They've given our kids a head start into this new school year and some amazing experiences that will last a lifetime. I know Doug and I had an opportunity to go to surf camp and just watch that program, watched our middle school kids just in this great environment, and it was just, you don't have words to describe the experiences that they're having, and it was just powerful to see our kids in that environment. Just great appreciation for our M&O staff, our custodial crew that just spent the summer cleaning, the myriad of projects. It was just, I mean, I see the results as I'm going around the schools. It's like, wow, that's new. Wow, that's new. I mean, over the summer, just the solar projects that were just placed, it's just tremendous. Our campuses were ready for our kids. Just, they were clean, pristine. It was just a great atmosphere. And then the over 1,500 plus employees and staff that put in countless of hours to get the classrooms ready, to get our kids ready, kids fed, and it was just a great start to the school year. And that just took everyone to pull together to make that happen. And then lastly, I want to thank Noemi and Brandy they were here through the summer just helping us work through issues, and just thank you for your dedication, collaboration to help us pull on the rope the same direction. So thank you. I'm looking forward to a wonderful year. So thank you.
Thank you. Anything from staff?
Let them off the
We'll work on that. All right. Yes. All right. So our next regular scheduled board meeting will be held on Thursday, September 5th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Escondido Union School District, Carolyn Gilbert Education Center. We are not going to be going into closed session, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much.